Hello, and welcome to the Black Dice Society, Season 2, Episode 6. Our memory is a more perfect world. Our special guest, Lucky Yates, will be joining us in a way that you will not forget very soon. Very soon. But before we get to it, as always, I have to remind you, this is a horror game. As such, we deal with horror content, some things that can be disturbing. Quite frankly, the world's kind of disturbing right now, and we're trying to be sensitive to it. That's why we were dark last week. I don't think there is going to be anything that happens today that might trigger something in anyone. We're doing our best to be sympathetic and cautious to that. But if there is, of course, always take time and take care of yourself more than anything. It's interesting because last week when we were talking amongst ourselves, there was some discussion, even amongst us, to what extent is this show a release or a distraction? Or is it a catharsis where maybe you don't get away from those feelings, you look them right in the eye and let them out? Who can say? That's up to you, really. But as always, we have our safety tools in place so that the cast can let me know if there's something that is disturbing them, and we will adjust accordingly. So if there's ever a scene that suddenly stops out of nowhere and switches, maybe it's because somebody got a little squicked out by what we were dealing with. Because the most important thing is safety and comfort at the table, and that is the only way that you can actually get into the really uncomfortable things. As always, I want to thank our sponsors, Die Hard Dice. Our individual palettes have been long since sold out, but what you can get is our Dark Lords Dyers. They can be split up, they can be reconnected, they can be reformed. They are beautiful, they are heavy. I like that a lot. They're available on Die Hard Dice. You can also use code BDS to order any incredible stuff that they have there and get 10% off. Warriors Waterdeep, our code should be appearing in chat right now. Keep an eye out for pictures of us in the game. As always, Idle Champions, the code should also be appearing in chat right now, but on the off chance it isn't, let me hand it over here. I would like you to know it is through no effort of my own that the code is available. I super forgot, and Watsy was like, hey, so what's up with the code? And I'm like, that is an excellent question, and it deserves an excellent answer. So there we go. I will say it. The verbal component of the code is Bet Limo Rebs, BETELIMOREBS. But hopefully that's popping up in chat right now. There is our TeePublic stores, of course, live masks, bags, notepads, mugs, any of the dopeness that you need with these wonderful people and their art on it. Secret Lab chairs. I'm the only one representing for Secret Lab here tonight, because brother Uriah is on the road, but that's okay. It's like riding around in the den. Link in chat there too. And of course, our art is still available. Our incredible museum quality prints of our incredible art by Adam Schumpert. Just put !BDS art in chat. Last but certainly not least, we have a Patreon. Thank you for everything. You all literally make it possible to do what we do. We hit kind of an administrative bottleneck there for a little while, but a bunch of stuff got posted this week. So there you go. It's all full up on content, which is at patreon.com/The Black Dice Society. I guess the only other thing to do is introduce you beautiful people and tell us who you are. So let us start here in the order that you are on my screen with Nahara.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nora Ibrahim. You can find me everywhere at Noralogical. My pronouns are she, her, as is my character. I play Nahara, who is a reborn Fallen Azamar undead warlock with a few levels of College of the Spirit Bard.
And Finn.
Hey, I'm Cypher of Tyr, Tanya, everywhere else online, and I just reversed my own name, that's okay. I'm Finn, your Drawdown Pure Blood Hunter, with a wee bit of Warlock and the Beast in her. Pronouns for both Finn and myself are she, her.
I would just like to point out that even here in chat, people were like, I want the Witcher chair. Do we have a Secret Labs code? I'm like, we do. Should be in chat. If it's not in chat, we got a different problem, and I will dig it up for you. Brother Uriah.
Hello, I'm Mark Meir. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Brother Uriah Macabre, Cleric of the Grave and Worshipper of Ezra, Lady of the Mists.
And again, Lucky Yates will be joining us at a dramatically appropriate moment. Hey, I know that guy. There he is. Right. Desmond.
Oh, hi. I'm DJ Knight. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, DJ Knight. Our pronouns of mine, Desmond and myself, are he, him, and I play Desmond, human, ranger, lycanthrope.
We're also
Thanks for hanging.
Getting a double dose of Desmond these days because he is also appearing on Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen, along with a certain Slayer of Dragons, Baloth the Entertainer, who's there too. And you know, keep an eye out. You might see more familiar faces popping up. Who can say? Just like to say that I'm getting to put DJ through very different flavors of emotional damage and distress. So,
Actual.
Yeah.
Emotional damage is true.
Emotional damage. And last but certainly not least, Tatiana.
Hello, my name is Becca Scott. You can find me on the internet at the Becca Scott or at Good Time Society. That is my YouTube channel where I post all kinds of content and want to promote one thing that Nora and I have both been working on, which is Inherit the Sand over at the Glass Cannon Network. We were playing in the world of Dune, which I'm a super nerd about, and so excited with the story we told. So you can check that out. It drops on Fridays. And here I am, a more Americanized Tatiana, very serious barbarian air genasi druid. And my friend Valentine isn't here tonight, so I don't know if I will have any moral compass at all. We'll see.
I will say.
Valentine's moral compass?
I will say, calling a spade, since, you know, let's just call it what it is. Becca, why is Tatiana sounding different tonight?
Okay, so vaguely Eastern European accent that I do, it feels insensitive in it. There's a war going on, y'all, and it's not a good accent to be sure, and we don't know where it's from. But it feels weird. I might slip into it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. You know, again, like we've said from the beginning with the accents, it's not an Eastern European accent because there is no Eastern Europe. And yet, we would be remiss.
As a Lithuanian American, I can give you a thumbs up on it. I'm a first
You'll like
generation Lithuanian American, and it's okay by us.
Is it the Lithuanian sounding?
Yeah, 100%.
If we go with that, I feel good. But since we're here, shout out. I don't know. We're with all our friends in Ukraine and stay strong.
Yep.
Fuck.
But
yeah,
ultimately, we're trying not to be insensitive to what's going on in the world. But there you go. So that's why that is how it is. With that being said, on with our story. One quick thing before we get started here. I'm hearing some of our audio is weird, which is odd because everything should be the same as it always is. But here, I can't. No, I'm at 100. I'm gonna. Oh, here we go. Let's see. I'm gonna kick myself up a little bit in Zoom. Hopefully I'm not deafening y'all, you know? Okay.
No, you sound good.
Yep. And then I could lower you. I'm not going to mess with you guys. I also turned the gain up a little bit. So we'll see. If it's a problem, let us know, chat. And we'll do what we can do because, it's always something. And with that, on with our story. When last we met, you all were in the village of Barovia, helping a young girl named Irina bury her adopted father so that she would leave voluntarily with all of you to the relative safety of the village of Valaki, far away from Castle Ravenloft, far away from the reach of Count Strahd von Zarovich. Unfortunately, before the ceremony could even begin, before the dead burgomaster could be committed to the earth to sleep, hopefully peacefully, for all time, Count von Zarovich himself made an appearance. In the midst of the teeming masses of the spectral parade procession that appears every night of the countless adventurers that have come and lost their lives in the hopeless battle against Strahd von Zarovich, he confronted 6 strangers to the land of Barovia. He was alternatively welcoming, dismissive, rude, outright betrayed Finn's trust in the spirit of pointing out the fact that he had upheld his end of the deal of trapping the caller here so that she could be destroyed. And last but certainly not least, pulled Tatiana aside so that they might speak. In the midst of, not Tatiana, I apologize, Nahara.
I think he's cool.
Right. Tatiana thinks he's great, actually. That is true. Because of his vampiric charm, she's not really clear what the fuss is about, to tell you the truth.
Friends, I don't know why, but I think we should give him a chance.
Nahara was pulled aside, where he expressed to her that she was, in fact, the reincarnation of his lost love, a very different Tatiana. And even he wasn't sure why this young girl bore such a striking resemblance to you, and openly theorized that perhaps somehow Tatiana's soul was fragmented, and perhaps she has come back in the form of both of you. He also revealed to Nahara that he is the origin of the predicament that she finds herself trapped in, that when she dies, even death is not an escape from the master necromancer that is Strahd von Zarovich, and she has been trapped in a loop of incarnations in death. As you've come to realize, death has found her in a number of ways. In Phalkovnia, at the hands of Ledeska Drakov's forces. In some other faraway place, when she was tracked down by a large lupine lieutenant, the biggest lupine any of you have ever seen, had tracked her down to bring her back to Strahd, and she was executed by members of the Keepers of the Feather. Even last night, as Strahd drew near to Nahara, it seems a couple of them appeared, perhaps with the intention of repeating this process of doing anything from stopping her from falling back into Strahd's clutches. After those ravens were dispersed, after that lupine had appeared and told Desmond that he'd been warned that Desmond was a pup who simply thought he was an alpha, Strahd von Zarovich did one of the most terrible things that he is capable of, and sunk his fangs into Nahara's flesh and drank. As your friends rushed out, Nahara, to aid you, to make sure that you were all right, to make sure that you were still alive, Nahara, you were greeted with a very familiar falling sensation. Similar to how it is every night, as you run and throw yourself out that window and find yourself falling against that waterfall. with the voice that you now have come to know was Strahd von Zarovich's own, howling in rage and grief behind you and beginning the incantations that would set you on the cycle of death and rebirth that you have now lived in longer than, quite frankly, either of you truly realize. As you continue falling, after a moment you feel hard stone underneath your face. Not like you fall and slam into it. It is just simply there, like you're laying on the ground. What would you like to do, Nahara?
I will try to lift myself up, look at my surroundings.
As you push off of this cold stone floor, you find yourself in a very well-appointed room. Honestly, it's fit for a queen, at least in Barovia terms. The silks and tapestries and finery were probably very nice once. Like so much in the village of Barovia, once it was probably master craftsmanship. Probably cost no small expense. But now it is muted, faded, pale, but familiar somehow.
Why am I here? As Nahara will kind of slowly make her way around the room and just touching her surroundings, it almost feels not real. And so she's trying to hold on to anything that would give her a sense of reality.
As you run your hands over the furniture, the cushions, in the midst of this familiarity, one thing leaps out at you more than anything else. There are no mirrors in this room. As you look down at your hands, they look like your hands, but there's no real way to see yourself in the mirror.
I lift my hands and towards my shoulders to see if my wings are still there.
They are.
All right, well, that's a relief. That's one thing. There's no mirrors. Are there any paintings?
There are. There is a tapestry that is clearly Strahd von Zarovich, having looked upon him. It is him, and his arm is around someone, but the other half of the tapestry has been ripped out of the frame.
And Nahara will suddenly remember the name that came to her when Strahd pulled her aside, and she slowly whispers the name, Sergei.
You hear a creaking in the closet as something is bumping around here in the room.
I will immediately go towards it and fling open the doors.
Inside, you see a puppet leaned against the wall. It also seems familiar to you, Nahara. It is almost as if it fills you simultaneously with happiness and unhappiness. Like you have good and bad memories of this thing.
What a peculiar little thing. And as I poke it,
What happens when she pokes it?
Greetings, lady! Twiddly-tweed, twiddly-tweed, twiddly-tweed!
what are you? How are you?
What am I? What are you? What are we? What are they?
That's fair.
Yes,
That's
I'm a lady. Piddlewick. Your
Piddlewick.
favorite fool. Yeah.
Piddlewick.
And of course.
Do I know you?
My
Do I
lady.
know you?
Dost thou know me? Do I know you? Do we know each other?
Do we?
Nahara, as this strange puppet is talking to you, he's about 4 feet tall, so he's not insignificant in dancing around in this mummer's pose. You vaguely remember a person who dressed similarly like this. There was a person, a mummer named Piddlewick, who was one of the few sources of joy that you remember. You remember Sergei loved Piddlewick too. But this puppet, it's him, but it's not him.
Do I remember that Piddlewick was a person, or was he always a puppet?
You remember. Actually, give me just a wisdom check. Not a save, just a wisdom check.
All right. It's 17.
You remember. You get a flash of the man and the puppet both side by side. Of the man attempting to juggle and entertain, and the puppet trying its best, but not quite getting there.
But
Lady, should I sing you a song? Or perhaps tell you a joke?
do you sing? I would love to hear a
love
song.
Piddlewick's jokes.
I would very much like to hear one.
Why did the unicorn fall asleep?
I don't know. Why did the
Was
unicorn
being
fall-
eaten by a werewolf. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh,
Hilarious, right? You love Piddlewick's jokes.
yes, yes.
Ha 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 ha. Piddlewick is your favorite little clown.
Piddlewick, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? I live here, milady.
In the
What are you
closet?
doing back?
Back?
Has been quite a long time since you've been away. Much has changed. Many people have fallen.
Do you remember the last time I was here?
Oh, of course I do. Piddlewick remembers everything.
Could you tell me what happened?
Oh, man, really? Yeah, sure. Hold on, I've got it written down somewhere in a drawer, I believe.
You see, I'm afraid my memory has escaped me many times, and while this place is vaguely familiar to me, I don't remember what happened last time I was here.
Well, of course, the last time you were here, you took a great flight off of a precipice. I'm remembering now because of my notes.
Piddlewick, you are also aware that there are some other guests here in the castle. The first guests in quite some time.
Milady, you has brought the party with you? The party dispersed after you left.
Are there others? Are there others here?
I'm asking you.
No. I
Are there
don't.
others here with ye?
I don't think so. I remember the same thing of falling, and I awoke, and next thing I knew, I was here. I believe I'm alone.
Right. To look around.
Yes. Would you come with me? Are you able to?
Oh, why don't you come with me, milady? Yes.
All right. Lead the way.
Yes.
As Piddlewick opens the door, you see there is a very long and once again familiar hallway. It is minimalist. The walls are a very cold, bare stone. But what furnishings there are just like what was in the room. Again, they once would have been lavish. but they have languished now, are covered in a thin layer of dust and just misuse. And there are a row of doorways down this hallway that something in you remembers. This is where the guests slept.
Ah, here we are, milady, the great hall of doors.
Yes, I vaguely remember. I believe these were quarters.
Yes.
Guests would sleep in these doors over here. But why is it in such disarray?
Oh, why indeed. It's been a long time since our master cared.
Have you been here alone?
Nay, there are the guests, of course.
Are
Come,
they-
follow me! Yee! Wee!
You hear a very loud snoring coming from one of the doors.
Oh my.
Is man or bear? You find out.
You don't know who it is, do you?
Do I?
No
You tell
idea.
me.
Yeah.
Let's open it and find out if it's a bear.
All right, but
Perhaps it will. Don't worry. I've got my merry murder stick.
right, murder stick, that's probably a good idea,
It's a
but let's
bear.
still try to wake
Or
him.
Piddlewick will murder it with his murder stick. Let
Right,
it
but
to my
let's-
friend Punchinello,
But
quite a
let's
little stick murderer himself.
perhaps try murder as a last resort.
All right, last resort.
I don't know about that. Probably. Let's get a peek of who it is. It might not be anybody that would do you any harm.
Right, but if it's a bear, Piddlewick's gonna murder.
Okay, listen, if it's a bear, you have my full blessing to just murder with the murder stick.
That's all I've ever wanted is milady's full blessing for anything. Whee!
Right, but shh. Remember, that's last resort. Only if it's a bear.
All right, open the door.
All right.
Yo,
One,
working thumbs.
2, 3. And I would like to very stealthily creep the door open.
Give me either stealth or sleight of hand, whichever is higher.
All right. Let me see which stat will aid me in this. Sleight of hand. Oh, both the same. All right. Here we are. Let me see. That's not a great roll. That is a 13.
You open the door as slowly as you believe you can, but it still lets out a loud like it hasn't been opened in some time. However, sprawled on the floor, not on the bed, as you look around here, this room is much less appointed than yours was. This seems like it is the quarters that would have been befitting an important servant. It is nowhere near as nice as your room was. Again, the furniture seems well made, but the minimum. But laying in the middle of the floor, you see Tatiana's large blue frame. The Air Genasi is on the floor, snoring loudly. She doesn't seem like she's hurt. She's just asleep.
Important point of clarification. Is she in bear form or is she not in bear form?
Tatiana, which one are you in?
Wow. I wish I were having a nightmare where I needed to turn into a worm. Bear. But no, she's just Air Genasi right now.
Excellent. Piddlewick. Stop. That is my friend.
But her tattoo on her chest is visible.
She definitely. Well, what does your tattoo look like?
Well, her tunics bear her torso in such a way that you see the bottom half of a bear's jaw, because on her stomach there is a large bear face tattooed. This is a totem.
Oh, she bears the picture of a bear. Does thou want me to murder her, milady?
No.
Piddlewick,
No.
there's Piddlewick. There's a pillow right there. You could put it on her face. There's just like old times, Piddlewick. You could do it.
Please don't. No, that is my friend.
Never wake up. She'll never know.
That is my friend.
Just
Like the unicorn that was killed by a werewolf.
Listen, you may not want to mention unicorns later. I will explain later, but just may not hold off on the unicorns. But that is my friend.
You want me to hold a pillow over her chest and kill the bear picture?
I don't think that will work. But you're welcome to try.
Oh, man, this is the best day of Piddlewick's life.
Piddlewick, do you do it? Do you grab the pillow and attempt to smother the bear?
I've got a pillow here. Yes, I'm going to attempt to put a pillow on the chest of the blue lady.
They're all for perception.
Yeah, have at it, Tatiana.
And I think at this point, Nahar is very much like, no, I want to see what happens. Go ahead.
Let's see. Where's my perception? Yeah, that's a 15. So I think I immediately startle and try and grab whatever weird pillow that seems to be lifting itself is on.
Hey, the pillow!
He's about the size of a child, so Piddlewick, give me acrobatics with advantage. Brother Uriah, you roll it. If you don't have the Piddlewick, do you have the Piddlewick stats? I can give them to you. If you
Don't have them up. Yeah.
All right.
I'll
Just roll.
And you tell me what bonuses you get.
I will.
His roll is a 10, so whatever advantages you get.
Did you roll with advantage?
Oh, no, I did not roll with advantage. Hold on.
Also, I'm going to send you his actual stuff there.
You want me to contest it or
Yeah,
what's happening here?
give me athletics or give me athletics, Tatiana.
The
Can I
10
do
was actually
acrobatics?
a better roll.
Thanks.
Sorry.
This for nothing. Yeah, wait till I do, buddy.
Only an 8.
Believe it or not, Piddlewick, again, this is by no means the first person you've smothered, Piddlewick. So as her arms come up to grab, of course, you immediately get out of the way.
What is this?
Tatiana,
Huh?
please don't hurt him, even though he probably deserves it a little bit.
Is he a child? If he's not a child, I might hurt him.
Childlike.
Child at heart. Ha, 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 ha.
A close call. This is not a line I will cross today.
Would you like me to murder that bear on your chest?
This
I will
bear.
it with my stick.
No, child in a cloth.
I can't do that.
I'm Tatiana. This is Piddlewick. Piddlewick, Tatiana.
We're not off to a great start.
I know, but I don't.
Aren't we?
Yes.
Would you like me to tell you a joke?
Okay. But if it's about smothering my bear, I tell you now, I will not like it.
It is not, milady. I'm sorry, I called you. I don't know what your pronouns are.
She, her.
Milady, why did the biscuit go to the barber doctor?
Why did the biscuit go to the barber doctor?
Yes, well, they're the one and the same in our world. Ravenloft. You gotta go to the,
Biscuits
you gotta
have
leave
no
me.
hair, nor
Because it
internal
felt crummy.
organs.
The biscuit felt crummy.
Tatiana, just
Because of the lepers.
Why was there a barber involved? That does not seem necessary in any way.
It felt crummy because of the leprosy. That leprosy was falling apart.
Okay, that is funny. I did know someone I did not like, and they died of leprosy.
Nose was gone. Its jaw was half hanging off. It was too late. It wouldn't make the trip to the island. So the barber surgeon just covered it in honey and ate it.
All right, Piddlewick, that's enough for
Yeah!
now.
backstory.
What is this place?
Tatiana, do you know how you got here? Because I don't remember how I got here.
Tatiana, the last thing you remember was standing in front of the church thinking Strahd was making some really valid points, and then now you're here.
We met a new friend that you and I both enjoy the presence of. Wait, no.
Arguable.
I don't think I like that guy.
Tatiana, what you do notice is there are 2 holes on Nahara's neck, right where Strahd bit her. And a very small, very faint trail of blood. It's not like she's in any risk of bleeding out, but clearly the bite mark is on her.
I grab her arms in an embrace. You've been hurt.
I have. I don't feel hurt. What are you talking about?
Are you hungry for something? But you don't eat. So are you hungry for anything?
No. Should I be?
Nope. It's fine.
Okay.
Piddlewick,
Here
if
I
you
am.
met a woman with wings and 2 holes in her neck, what would you think that is?
Holes in my... Oh.
Pretty cool, man. That's what I would think that is.
Do you
And also probably a vampire. I don't know.
That was my
Do you
thought.
think?
What do I know? I'm Piddlewick. I tell jokes and sing songs.
Piddlewick, how did you get to this place? Did you meet a vampire that brought you here?
Piddlewick was given to the master here.
Who is your master?
Oh,
what
I
does
do
he
not
do?
like to speak his name.
Meanwhile, elsewhere in another room, Finn and Desmond, you both find yourselves waking up. Both of you are lying in a room with a large central bed that the two of you are lying in. It is lumpy but serviceable, better than the sleeping mats that you've been on the road. And the room looks similar to as I've described the other ones. There is furniture in it that was probably nice once, but it is not particularly richly appointed.
And we're asleep or just kind of coming around?
Just waking up. In fact, Finn, I would say you wake up just before Desmond, who seems to be sleeping peacefully enough, but again, you have no recollection of how you got here. The last thing you remember was this lupine squaring off against both you and Desmond, jumping over you onto the wall of Castle Ravenloft and climbing upwards, and you saw Nahara fall, and now you're waking up in this bed.
I smacked Desmond. Hey.
Yeah, what's up?
Where are we?
I don't know. In the weird city where we just buried a dude?
No. We were not in a bed. We're not inside.
Ooh. Where are we?
Do you think we're in Castle? Do you think we're in his castle?
Probably. Knowing him, he wants something from all of us, and that makes the most sense.
Desmond,
Yes.
why are you so calm about this?
We met shortly after we all just randomly woke up in a place, so not a surprise to me to just be somewhere random anymore.
All right. I'm not as sanguine about that, but sure. And so I look around. I'm going to check. Can I do an investigation on the room?
Absolutely.
All right. My Dark Lord dice, hopefully they did not fail me because I don't
Here we go.
trust the digital dice anymore.
I believe.
I believe in you. Oh, but I get an advantage
But it's
on
like,
investigation.
all praise Lord Aslan.
No, wrong one. But I get advantage, and I got a nat 20 plus 5.
Hey.
Perfect. Couple of things, Finn. You're sure no one has been in this room in a really long time. It is not. It is by no means like covered in cobwebs and dust. It's just this place has just clearly not been disturbed. It is almost like a mausoleum. There's no sign that anyone has come in or out of this room. It's not like you walked in. It's just you were just here. With that natural 20 and your blood hunter senses, I will say you also are aware of the presence of human blood nearby. Not necessarily someone is injured, but just you're aware another person is close. They're not in this room, but they're close.
So not Desmond.
Not Desmond. Actually, with a natural 20, you've been around him long enough. You pick up Uriah's scent. Uriah's nearby.
Oh. I get up, pull the not Nepenthe. Desmond, Uriah's nearby.
I guess we got to go to the Uriah.
And then once we solve this mystery, you and I should talk.
Yeah, we're going to need to.
Yeah, you're not letting me get out of that one, are you?
Never.
Oh boy. That's the laugh? Yes.
Nepenthe rattles slightly, and you hear in your mind, "You don't need to tell him anything. We're in his castle. We could finish him now. He deserves retribution nearly as much as the caller."
I wasn't gonna, send a smoke signal to Strahd.
I don't fear him.
All right. Can you tell us where we are? We're in his castle, is what you're saying.
It bears his stench. Can you not feel it?
No, not yet. Remember, not quite fully a vampire?
Desmond, to you, Nepenthe is just rattling, and you see that ambient red light that comes out of the hilt. It's like...
So Desmond knows. Desmond's holding the pen.
Mm-hmm.
And just like when she's, can he see her like mentally having a conversation with Nepenthe?
I would say you've been around Valentine and everybody else, and quite frankly, you talking to Voronika enough times that when somebody sort of just, an item starts to react and they just stare off into the distance for a moment.
Had that feeling, but didn't want to just assume. What's it saying?
Nepenthe wants us to take out the bigger threat.
That checks out. Why suddenly wake up? We've been talking for minutes now. I'm intrigued.
I mean, Nepenthe wants what it wants.
This is true. I do remember hearing something to like vengeance. When I got to hold it. So, yeah, I don't think Nepenthe cares about much of anything.
No, Nepenthe wants vengeance, and I mean, if Nepenthe doesn't need me to actually hold it and wield it, I'm moderately concerned she's just going to jump out of the scabbard and go do what she wants.
Wouldn't be surprising. Would kind of suck, though.
It would, but I mean, you don't seem to be bothered by the fact we woke up in a strange room and don't remember being put here, so that's...
Of course I'm bothered, but again, randomly waking up in places seems standard for us.
Yeah.
So that part isn't the thing that bugs me. Also, I feel like it probably is a good idea to go get Brother Uriah. So
yeah.
If Nepenthe has no issues, let's go look for him.
All right. Am I able to basically hone in on him?
Mm-hmm. As you go to the door is not barred. It sort of, you kind of have to put your shoulder into it to open it, but it is more like it just hasn't been opened in a while and it's kind of expanded in its frame, but you are able to muscle it open easily. You see a hallway similar to what was described. There is clearly a tapestry of Strahd von Zarovich, standing as a proud conqueror hanging from one of the walls. The place is dark and gloomy. You see no torches or source of light, but you still can see, Desmond, even your human eyes are capable of seeing what's going on. This place just feels cold. And while you see no sign of any of your other traveling companions, directly across the hallway there is another door. And Finn, again with that natural 20, you're sure Uriah is inside.
All right. You want to kick it in on 3 or just go in?
If we try the knob.
Oh, you're no fun.
Yeah, I love the idea of kicking in doors. Trust and believe. But if it's the castle that we think it is, I imagine we don't want to make too much noise.
All right.
Unless we have more problems with Nepenthe wanting that vengeance when he inevitably shows up.
Yeah, but I don't want to borrow trouble for now.
Same.
After you, my friend.
Sounds like a plan. When Desmond tries for the door, does it open?
It does. Same thing. You kind of gotta, put a little into it, but it is not locked. Inside, you find a similarly appointed room, except this bed was probably more fitting a child or a very young servant. It is the equivalent of a twin that Brother Uriah's arms and legs would dangle off of normally. But in what state of sleep do they find Brother Uriah? How is he resting in here?
Yeah, he's sort of like curled up like this. He's actually, normally his arms and legs would spill over the edge, but he's actually sort of curled up in a small ball.
And you see Brother Uriah actually appears to be sleeping peacefully. A lot of the times when you see him, his brow is furrowed, but he seems at rest.
So cute. Do we have to wake him up?
Probably a good idea, although he does look well rested.
All right. And I approach and I try to make enough noise so that I don't scare Brother Uriah and shake his shoulder. I shake his shoulder.
Do I awaken?
Oh yes, you were not under any sort of mystical compulsion. You're just asleep.
Okay. As I regain consciousness, what's the last thing I remember?
Watching Strahd bite Nahara and watching her fall to the ground.
So do I remember attacking him and him attacking me?
Oh, yes. In fact, you very much still have the handprint on your face. Yes.
As he wakes up, Uriah's own hand slaps to his face, just covering exactly where Strahd's hand was. Mm-hmm. Where are we?
Apparently in the castle of our visitor.
Castle Ravenloft.
Yes.
But no, he left. We'd turned. Where is Nahara?
We haven't found her yet.
Piddlewick, in the other room with Nahara and Tatiana, you are aware of 3 other guests, and you are also aware of the fact that someone has said the name Castle Ravenloft out loud.
Somebody speaks the name.
How do you know that?
Piddlewick knows some things. Like a man tells me. In my
You are
little
kind of creepy.
mind, I hear the beautiful voice of a lovely man.
Yes, very lovely.
Sometimes he sings
Like a
Impeccable.
patron? Are you a warlock?
Piddlewick, a warlock? No.
What are you then?
Clown. I've got a murder stick from a murder clown.
Got a murder
What do you want
stick.
from me? Come to the other room.
I'll explain. Tatiana, I knew him somehow through my
Guys, I knew
past
that.
life. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
we're
But wait,
following.
Piddlewick. No,
Maybe I'm
they're
done.
probably my friends. Shh.
I walk like
Probably
he
my
does.
friends.
Nahara, give me again a wisdom check. Not a save, just a wisdom check.
Okie dokie.
Again, unfortunately, Dungeons and Dragons doesn't have any mechanism for remembering things. So wisdom, or seeing what you do and don't remember.
24.
You have a sudden image of the man that you knew as Piddlewick lying dead at the bottom of a set of stairs. You see an older woman standing over him crying, and you see this puppet kind of holding her leg over his body looking sad. And she just says, I guess he must have fallen. I didn't. Oh dear, Piddlewick.
How can that be? Oh,
You
poor
look lost
Piddlewick.
in thought.
And what vexes my lady?
As
She has a murder stick.
does a
if there's
very
something
like
upsetting.
slow head turn towards Piddlewick, and her eyes widen.
Hiya, toots.
Piddlewick, how is it? And then she like very much just like shoves his face a little.
Don't worry. That's the usual greeting to poor Piddlewick.
Yeah.
Nobody ever likes Piddlewick too.
No, no.
Maybe they are testing your strength, and it is a compliment.
He's about 4 foot tall. He is about the size of a small boy. When you touch him, you realize he's a construct. He's a bit clockwork, like he's metal when you touch him. But that is what you remember.
Oh, poor Piddlewick.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, Piddlewick. He fell down those stairs as though he were pushed.
Oh, wait.
Poor him. Always so clumsy.
Piddlewick.
Always so stupid. Always getting all the attention.
You didn't.
Let us mourn him with laughter. What time is it? When a troll sit on your fence.
Didn't do what? What do you think that he did?
Tell me you didn't.
Sat on your fence.
You think Piddlewick 2 pushed Piddlewick 1? Or is this the soul?
Where did you hear fake news? Where are you hearing this? What are you hearing? Who's saying what out there? I was nowhere near the place.
You just said some very incriminating things.
No, I'm just
implying that you were the one that pushed him down the stairs.
Piddlewick 1 lived his life as though people were constantly pushing him down. That's why Piddlewick 2 always bears the brunt.
So you are not the reincarnated soul of a man named Piddlewick? You, in fact, maybe possibly killed the first Piddlewick?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You need to speak to my solicitor.
Don't wave your murder stick at me.
Oh, hey, this was not a threat. This is permanently...
It looks threatening. Do you want the threat?
Hand. My lord, permanently tied my murder stick to my hand.
Piddlewick 2?
Yes,
if you were the
Tatiana.
one. How did you know that?
That is your name, correct?
Yes and no.
Wait,
Tatiana,
what?
No.
This is awkward. That's my name.
This is a little... Yes, I know. This is a little complicated.
Yes, Piddlewick. It looks just like her. She didn't have wings last time you saw her. That's weird. But otherwise, it's her.
Yeah, well, you know, I've had a few upgrades since. Wings and the holes in your neck are cool with me, man.
Piddlewick, I am Tatiana.
Yes, he's not wrong, though, because one of my lives, I was actually my first one. I was also named Tatiana. So that might get a little complicated in the narrative. I'm not sure.
The bare chest lady's name, too? Oh, man, that's hilarious. That must be hilarious.
Piddlewick.
It's me, Piddlewick Wee.
What is it you want in life?
What?
What are your goals and aspirations?
Yes, why are you here?
Piddlewick cannot leave this castle. Piddlewick is stuck here.
Is it a curse?
Ah.
Well, we will certainly break out if we are trapped.
I've never visited a warlock to have it checked, you know what I mean?
Do you wish to escape?
Piddlewick would love nothing more so that he can run across the countryside, murdering it with his murder stick.
Perfect, it is done. We will help Piddlewick escape.
I will not judge you here. Ground rules.
Piddlewick knows every crevice and corridor, secret or none.
You can't do
now you
that
listen
to
here.
innocent people.
Yes, listen here.
Yes?
We have some ground rules. We will help you escape. My only rule is that you do not harm my friends. No murder sticking my friends.
Would one of them turn into a bear?
Yes.
Possibly.
You better watch it!
You think I am afraid of you? Do you think I have ever tasted fear?
Ground rules. Do you accept or do you not?
I bonk him with the fist on top of the head.
Here's a Piddlewick fun fact. I've never met a real bear.
Well, then what is you hang up with bears?
I'm always ready, though.
It expends much energy from me to turn into a bear.
A lot of
but
hatred
I would like to eat you as a bear.
Up. There's no need for that.
It also
Mean,
expends a lot of energy to murder a bear, I assume.
I bonk him on the head again.
Everyone
meanwhile,
calm down.
meanwhile, Uriah, Desmond, Finn.
So, two questions. Am I still in my dread form, and can we hear this racket?
You are not in your dread form. You are back in your Drow
Damn it.
Dhampir form. Give me perception. All three of you can. Desmond, you
Yay.
can give me perception or survival.
I feel like I have the both at the same level.
That is
Yeah.
28.
Well,
I'm rolling perception because I got advantage.
22.
yeah.
24.
As the three of you were talking, you do hear Nahara's voice somewhere, some distance. Ground rules. Ground rules. Yeah. That's just what you hear.
That's
Uriah immediately tumbles out of the bed, grabs his, whatever he's got with him, and hurries towards the sound of the voice.
it. Just rolls us over.
As you all make your way down this hallway, you sort of turn, and it's odd. It's like it is almost like you're moving, but it's like you don't go anywhere. You make turns, and it's like everything's the same, and then you arrive at a door, and when you come around the corner, you see Nahara, Tatiana, and a 4-foot construct that looks like a clockwork boy. Like
Bonk on head.
Oh God! What is it? Oh God!
My lord!
What matter?
My lord Aslan!
What?
What are you
Tried to
doing
bonk
here?
it, but
What? What did you?
What?
Oh, my lord Aslan! Oh, yes.
Oh,
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Uriah?
how does he? Ooh.
if we help this thing escape, it will be further away from us. I think it will run away and murder things.
Wait, what?
Who is your?
Going to murder.
Everyone?
As
think we
a,
have introductions are in order.
Yes. Piddlewick?
I'm
These are my friends.
Tatiana.
Ground
You are Uriah.
rules.
Oh,
These are my friends.
Don't murder them unless they're a bear.
Disturbed.
Nahara?
Don't you remember me?
Nahara, what do you have against bears?
I don't have anything against bears. I'm just trying to keep some.
I assume they're nature's worst creature.
I am trying to establish boundaries.
Hold on 1 second here. Brother Uriah, when he is greeting you as Lord Aslan, what does Brother Uriah say?
I am afraid I haven't had the pleasure. Piddlewick.
My lord!
Oh no.
Huzzah, my lord!
How?
Huzzah.
Excuse me.
Oh, no.
Apparently, this fellow, shall we call him that, has made Aslan's acquaintance.
Yeah.
Indeed.
When?
Yes.
And how?
How? I spent decades within the walls of this place.
Have you?
Piddlewick's domain.
Indeed. Always a ray of sunshine was Piddlewick, especially when I was attempting my work. He was one of the many reasons I left Barovia and struck out into the mists.
Lord Aslan gave Piddlewick his murder stick.
Oh my.
I threw something at him and he fashioned it into this.
Oh, don't be so shy.
Look, why are we talking to this clearly disturbing and murderous thing?
You try not talking to it. It keeps talking.
Sorry.
Uriah,
Piddlewick
I'm
has
so
taken a lot
sorry.
of harm in these walls.
what's wrong with bears, though?
Fen raises her hand.
You tell me.
Yes, Finn.
So, Uriah,
Yes?
can you move over?
Hey, where you going?
No, the thing can stay right there.
Yes.
And she has her sword out. She's just slowly approaching with her sword out.
I'm sorry. Did you call me the thing? Because, whoa. Didn't we establish, while we're establishing some ground rules? I mean, come on, man.
It's amazing how you could see the air quotes, although he's holding a murder
kind
stick.
of soul. I don't know what it is, but there's one in there. Come on, man.
Uriah.
Uriah, you need to move.
Finn, before...
No.
Yeah, it's Finn.
No, whoever you are threatening people with a murder stick.
I'm threatening bears with a murder stick.
We have a
Well, we like this bear, mostly.
Maybe this other guy is that keeps interrupting my master Aslan.
I'm not a guy. I'm going to stab you for calling me that.
I think he's talking about Uriah.
Talking
I'm talking about this. When Lord Aslan leaves this vessel, this guy shows up.
That vessel is my boyfriend.
Can I just attack Piddlewick?
Wait a minute.
Can I just attack Piddlewick? I've got Eldritch Blast.
Hold on. Piddlewick does jokes for a living.
You're not funny. You're not funny.
And I think we should hear him
Desmond
out.
slowly just like sidesteps in front of Finn just to kind of block her way.
No. I move you out of the way.
Both our dungeon
Desmond keeps
master.
going back, like,
Let's
no.
at least let him tell a joke.
No.
Oh,
What?
yeah, I've got a good joke.
He's attired as a jester.
You just see Fenn's hand coalesce with her Eldritch Blast at the ready.
And then like Desmond just kind of puts himself in the way, like in front of her, with his back to her, just like, don't do that. We really
Why
need
not?
to know what's going on here, and that is not going to solve anything. Also, I really need to know what's up with this murder stick and whether or not he's got a problem with wolves, so I know whether or not I have a problem with a massive puppet's murder stick.
And this is where Nahara says, "Tell that unicorn joke."
No.
Ooh, unicorns?
She says it to
Desmond, he has a problem with bears, and if you're my friend, you should have a problem with that.
Yeah, but I also don't want to see it blown up yet. Like, we just got here. I would like to know the situation before we blow up anything.
He doesn't react when I bonk him on head, so
I think
I
magic.
would
pretty
ever do
solid.
that.
I think Eldritch Blast will take care of it.
Wait, hold on. You just told me it again, and I really have to take an issue with your attitude toward me. We haven't even met, madam.
Let's just listen to this joke.
If the joke's not funny,
Fresh material.
Ben,
Hey.
I mean, I'm sure it's guaranteed to be funny. I mean, look, he's dressed like a jester.
I will listen to the joke, but if it is about a bear, you will be injured.
What? It's not. It's about a troll.
Okay, troll. All right.
Okay, let's
What
hear it.
time of day is it when a troll sits on your fence?
I don't know, Piddlewick. What time of day is it when a troll sits on your fence?
Time to call Bartholomew's Troll Extermination Service. Just go back. He'll kill that troll for good.
Is this an ad?
Piddlewick had to take up a sponsor while he was hitting the walls.
You have a sponsor that comes out in your jokes.
I mean,
Lord Strahd.
so Piddlewick is the worst kind of creature. Piddlewick's an influencer.
Yes.
Look, man.
Disgusting vermin.
that had the cadence of a joke. I will grant you that.
Piddlewick got to pay his bills too. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
So how does Bartholomew pay you, Piddlewick?
And to answer your wolf question, no, I think they're grand because the evil master that runs this castle hates them.
Perfect.
I like that. As long as that wasn't your bear voice. Fun fact, I've never heard a bear voice. I don't know what they sound like. I'm only assuming.
How are you so traumatized by bears if you've never met one?
You can't make me do it.
It's like part of my programming or something. I don't know.
Do I understand that we are currently within the layer of
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Don't
we
say
should
it.
not make so much noise, but it's not really our fault.
I did hear ground rules from a long way away.
Yes. Piddlewick, you agreed
Yes.
that we were not going to murder our friends. And in exchange for not murdering any of the people in this room that you see before you, no matter what shape they take,
Even bears.
even bears, we will get you out of this castle.
Excellent. What about that lady that keeps calling me an it?
Oh,
All company included.
It's just
These
what
are-
I mean. Can she at least call me Piddlewick?
if I must.
I mean, it's not a must. I would like it to be a choice. I mean, come on. If we're gonna work as a team,
I don't know you.
I
Tatiana.
don't know you either.
Think we
But
took
we're going to
off.
have to rely
Yes,
on one
Dungeon
another.
Master.
Like it's an adventure.
Oh, an adventure.
Tatiana, you realize Valentine's not here.
Where's Valentine?
I don't know.
Where's Valentine? I start running the halls and opening every door.
I'll
Oh, she doesn't sleep. She probably wandered off.
She wouldn't without waking me.
But wait, do you recall what we were doing? We were, of course, in battle with the Count, and then we turned to go to the church.
No,
I don't recall losing consciousness, per se. We just found ourselves here.
I am down the hall. Any door that is unlocked, I have opened and looked inside for Valentine. Open. Slave.
Valentine has had his day.
No, she.
Oh, she? Her day?
Yes.
I don't know. Piddlewick doesn't get this stuff.
Piddlewick, look for the red-haired woman, tall, slinky dress, tentacles from eyes, very trusting, trustable. Not trusting.
Hold on. Tentacles. From her eyes or for her eyes?
Well, from.
She may talk to you in your head. I don't know if you personally can receive that because it doesn't seem like you have an actual brain. No offense. But look out for her. It's important.
Hey, you got it. Piddlewick is these plastic eyeballs of mine never close.
Excellent.
That is
Tatiana.
actually a good point.
While you are looking through the hallways here, looking for Valentine, you open these doors. Again, every door seems like, again, it is one of these minimally appointed rooms that has not been slept in or lived in for quite some time. If you would, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Saving throw? Dirty 20.
You don't see the source of it, Tatiana, but you start to hear screams in your mind. Dozens, maybe hundreds of people dying slow, painful, terrible deaths.
No. Make it stop. Make it stop, Valentine. Make it stop. Get them out of my head. I crumple to the ground.
Not sure who or what a Valentine is, but I'm also sure you don't belong here. Who are you?
Did the pain stop of all the excruciating?
Nope. You hear it.
Hi. Tatiana. The only Tatiana, except for maybe another Tatiana now. Who are you?
You are not Tatiana. How dare you speak that name in these halls?
How dare you tell me my name is not my name? In these halls or any halls. I will turn into a bear to fight you, whoever you are.
Please. I feel duty bound.
Tatiana, you feel the blade of a sword press against your throat. You don't see
I
who's
see
holding
it?
it. Nope, it's from right behind you. Nobody was there, and then there's a knife. There's a blade at your throat.
Do I
could
feel a physical presence of a body behind me?
I could fashion a bear's skin cloak for our lord, I suppose.
Release me.
Or what?
I am a guest here. Your lord is a friend, kind of sorts. Release me. He would not give you permission to do this.
How about we make an arrangement then? We can talk as civilized beings, but I assure you, if you try anything, I will have your head off your shoulders, bear or otherwise.
I am a nice Erchenasi. I am a simple barbarian. Sometimes a druid. And you come into my head and then come at my throat and you tell me to not be hostile?
Yes, because I have let you live. You hear them, don't you? You hear my deathly choir. Everyone who has died by my hand.
Have we met before? You seem familiar.
Does this mean we are going to conduct ourselves like civilized people?
I have been holding up that bargain. You, again, have the knife to my neck.
You feel the scimitar move away from you, and you feel a person behind you step back.
Unbelievable. I turn and look at them.
He looks just like a pale elf, probably middle-aged for an elf, which still might be centuries. I mean, his face is worn, crow's feet. He wears leather armor and a fur cape. That looks like it's probably made out of wolf fur, but could be bear fur. And he stands there with the scimitar, looking up at you, because you're much taller than him. He's an elf. But he does not seem scared of you. I am Rahadin.
Rahadin. I would tell you who I am, but that provokes attack.
I am the Chamberlain of Castle Ravenloft. I am not aware of any guests, nor am I aware of any prisoners in the cells that meet your description. And there are others as well.
Well, we were brought here without our permission, and we are not in cells, so that tells me we were guests who were brought here rudely.
He sort of takes a step back and he looks in the direction of where the others are and he motions and he's like, if you would, I need to investigate.
Humph. I stalk past him, stomping.
If you make that much noise all the time, you must be very easy to ambush.
Ha, ha. You've already done that once today, so I think I've had my fill, thank you.
All the rest of you give me perception checks.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Those Dark Lord dice. Oh no.
Ooh, and I give myself guidance because I probably need it.
Go get your Dark Lord
19.
dice.
Really close to Uriah. I think that natural one is easily explained.
Yeah, no, he's in your bubble. Yeah, he's 100% in your bubble, Uriah.
I had a 19.
19.
19 as well.
19. Desmond?
Well,
Nahara and Finn, you hear Tatiana stomping. She's kind of heavily footed, even in the best of times, but you guys know when she's kind of pouting. And she's boom, 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 boom.
Should we go?
Oh, she's just mad. She's just looking for Valentine.
Are you sure?
I could be wrong. Do you want to go look?
I kind of just want to. I don't know if there's any. I don't want to know if there's any other puppets around. I don't know.
Don't leave me
You, Desmond wouldn't let me kill the puppet.
I am Piddlewick. Don't say the other P word.
Okay, why don't you
These ground rules are off the table.
tell me some more jokes? Why don't you? I'll keep busy.
Didn't know if there were any other Piddlewicks that you should be concerned about.
Desmond's here. You're not alone.
After
Hi.
a moment, Uriah, Finn, Nahara, Desmond, you all start to hear screaming in your head. Again, of dozens, possibly hundreds of people dying. Piddlewick, you hear it too, but you know exactly what it is.
What is this?
Probably those that have come before.
Do you all hear that?
Most definitely.
It's the song
Yeah.
Master likes to play at night.
And
How do we make it stop?
a moment later, you all see Tatiana appear in the doorway, but you don't see the man that is traveling with her. You hear his voice from around the corner. Piddlewick.
Oh. Yes? Oh no, Piddlewick is getting the deep sigh. Oh no.
We've discussed, Piddlewick, your indiscriminate murder of the Master's guests before.
Hey, is it really indiscriminate, though? A lot of those people might have been bears. We don't know.
Murder!
We really don't know.
You, Tatiana, see he pulls his sword out and he says, I believe this automaton may have finally outlived his purpose. And he steps around the corner and you all see the elf as described. But when he looks at you, he just stops, Nahara.
Yes.
Nahara, you know this face.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I thought you'd think.
Is that you?
Is that you?
It's both of you.
Yes.
And he what? He walks across the room, ignoring all the rest of you. And he's still holding the sword in his hand. But when he gets right in front of you, like he looks at your wings and he drops down to one knee, Nahara. And he just says, "Oh, my lady, you've returned to us. Oh, the Master must be overjoyed."
I have
Nahara, you know
returned, and
this?
you should put that sword away.
Without getting up, he does just sort of like look at Finn, Uriah, Desmond, and looks at Piddlewick again, and his eyes narrow slightly, and he says, "Have these outsiders harmed you, my lady?"
These outsiders are my friends, and you will show them respect.
You see, he
Yeah,
actually...
Nahara, he put a knife to my neck, a sword.
Yes, all of you are still hearing this screaming, by the way. Like, it has not gone away. It's just...
Can you stop this with the screaming?
That'd be good.
No. But I can stop it from intensifying, let us say.
That would be appreciated.
How charitable.
If she is your friend, then you will do as she asks.
She is not my friend, and she's not yours either. She is my lady. She belongs only to Count von Zarovich.
I am your lady, and I will tell you who my friends are, and you do not get to decide that for me.
Oh my god, this tension is killing me.
Is the puppet your friend as well?
If the puppet knows the ground rules, then yes.
Every time I track him down, he runs into a closet, through a hole, under a floorboard. He has evaded me for some time.
Nahara, do you
Would
know
you-
this fellow?
Would you care to introduce
Uriah, he
yourself?
does look at you and he says, "Lord Aslan, you've regained your mortal seeming somehow."
That's what I said.
Yes.
That's not him. There's another guy.
No, I assure you, I am he.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Uriah, give me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty 20.
You feel like the screaming starts to get louder, but you're able to sort of tune it out as he just like looks at you for a moment.
Are you doing that, by the way?
No. What a colorful assemblage. You have a simulacrum of Piddlewick, a simulacrum of Lord Aslan. You have a feral barbarian, a lupine. And he turns and looks at Finn, and he looks right past you at Nepenthe on your back and looks back at you again and says, and a diplomat.
Muted.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Well, it is my job to know. I am the Chamberlain of Castle Ravenloft. All the functions of this great house must run through me.
Well, that's...
What is your name, sir?
Rahadin.
Rahadin?
Yes.
You can call him Chamberlain, Lord Chamberlain. Raha is good. That's what I use a lot.
I'll call him running, hiding when I get to him. She whispers this only to Uriah.
Can I use that in my act? That's a good one.
Look, Rahadin, why are we here? Why have you brought us to this place? We certainly don't recall coming here under our own steam.
No one ever does.
You can use it in your act, Piddlewick.
Thank you. I won't murder you if you go to bear form then.
That's really nice. Thank you.
Easy exchange, see? A little something for you, a little something for me.
I'm glad we could get along.
Giving each other a livelihood here.
He looks at you for a second, Uriah, and he says, you don't know how you came to be here. Then I must insist you come with me. I will present you to Count von Zarevich. We will find out what his will is for all of you.
Oh, great.
Oh, I know what he wants me to do.
Oh, man. That is loaded.
He just motions towards the door and he says, unless, of course, you intend to resist.
Uriah looks to Nahara and says, what do you want to do? Do you wish to...
And that is an excellent time for us to take a little break. So let's do a quick 10. And we will come back and find out, what does Nahara wish to do? Is she going to go with him or is she going to resist? But we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hello, and welcome back to the Black Dice Society, Season 2, Episode 6. Our memory is a more perfect world. Before we go on, as always, I want to take the time to thank our patrons who literally make it possible to do what we do. Aaron Duran, Alan Zozo, Aurelia Roth, Blackwatch Ronan, Brad DeMogged, Chris Lewis, the Pretzel Bear, Christopher Klindering.
Pretzel Bear! Wait, hold on, stop! Hold on, stop! Stop where you are right now! Hold on! What the F is a Pretzel Bear? And do I need to motor stick that thing?
No, the Pretzel Bear definitely counts as a friend, by the way. Ground rules?
So many bear friends today!
Christopher Klindering, Craig Savage, Kralis, David Bonney, Donald Scott Massey, Ducati, Flannel Fries, Forrest S. Moore, Graffumbly, Guy Vanderbrink, Ian Brooks, Josh Olin, Just Link, Kyle Garrett, Lady Voronkova, Matthew, Mecha Shiva, Mercy Malunius, Mr. Albert, Nathan Crowder, Nick Bernard, Nightcrawler, Packery 101, Patch, Project Wolfbear, Reese, Reverse Aquamath, Ronan Monkey, Rosie and Sean at Sip Happens, Rum Soaked Chicken, to Queen Bee, Valdemar, Night Road, War on Reality, We Nuckin' Futz, and Zort 1. Again, thank you all so very much. You literally make it possible to do what we do. Piddlewick, is there a... do you have a joke for the patrons?
There are two names that stood out to me. Craig Savage, which, all right, who can't get behind that, right? And then Matthew. It's a guy named Matthew. That's all, I'm humble.
You know, thank you. Speaking of Piddlewick.
It's Matthew's humility that makes he, she, them a hero.
That is true. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you to all the Matthews, but especially the Matthews that are
Craig
patrons.
Craig Savage, you keep on being savage.
Before we jump back into this, who is the brilliant human being that is bringing Piddlewick to life right now, by the way?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lucky Yates.
Hi, Lucky.
Hi, friend.
Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to do this.
My God, it's a blast. Thanks. I hope I'm not ruining everybody's game.
No, it's wonderful.
I mean, in the best way?
Yeah, seriously.
I will tell you we've been doing it. We're almost at a year now. We're at 10 months. April 1st will be our year anniversary. So we're at like 11 months.
Oh, what a perfect anniversary.
Indeed. Well, that was the thing. When the show went up on April 1st, we were like, no, this is actually happening. I promise you. This is like, we're not messing with you. This is a thing that is going to start.
Remember them?
Yeah. But Mark asked from very, very early in this process, like, we got to get Lucky in here. We got to figure out something we could do. We actually even hit on the puppet fairly early, but we were like, how will we make it work? And I was like, I'll find a way, man. I'll find a way.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This like I went through two before this and threw them away because they sucked. So I'm glad that we ended up with this guy.
You made that?
Yeah, you made that.
That is awesome.
I mean, this is like... What? This was like the last couple of days I made this guy.
Oh my goodness.
If you can Google,
he's beautiful.
If you can Google the art for Piddlewick, he's nightmare fuel, quite frankly.
I'll show you.
So this puppet is fantastic here.
Thank you.
Wait, you're gonna throw him up, Becca? Is that what you said? Can you?
Can do.
Yep. Hang on. We're
Oh God. Pressure's on.
Yep, exactly. Everybody's looking. We're all waiting. That's cool.
Dun, dun, dun.
We've updated the overlay here where we got the at Lucky Yates on the tweetagrams. Absolutely, toss him a follow there. Here's what's funny. We had that other overlay queued from the beginning to switch like immediately when he showed up, but then he showed up and hijinks ensued, and I proceeded to not think about it for the next 90 minutes. There he is. There you go.
Hey.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah, imagine that as a 4-foot-tall clockwork murder person.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's the best answer ever. No.
Yeah. You're like, but what if I didn't?
Barrel of laughs. Come on. Come on. Hilarious.
Okay, Chucky ain't got nothing on that.
Agreed.
Come on. Everybody loves a joke.
Agreed. So, with that, let us continue our story. Here, inexplicably, inside Castle Ravenloft, you all saw Strahd von Zarovich depart. You saw Nahara collapse outside the church. And then you all awoke in this strange place, somehow without Valentine. She doesn't seem to be here. You've been approached by this ominous looking elf, Rahadin, whose very presence is terrifying and unnerving, and has said to you he wants to take you to Strahd. To which Brother Uriah looked at Nahara and asked, did you intend to go, or do you intend to resist?
I take Brother Uriah's hands in mine, and I say to him, I would never let anything bad happen to us. And when I take his hands, what he can feel in his palm is the cold metal outline that is the symbol of Ravenkind that everyone had seen used earlier with Strahd. And I just kind of grip his hand tightly. We should go.
Is Nahara just letting him know that she has it, or is she actually sort of putting it into his hand?
Just letting him know that she has it.
He nods to her.
Also, Nahara, now that you're close to him, you can see this basic burn in his face from where Strahd touched him, across his mouth, across his face, where he was grabbed.
And Nahara will gently take his face in her hand as she caresses the side of his cheek and casts Cure Wounds, and hopefully, in the hopes that it would heal him.
You see the sort of rotted and ruined flesh from the necrotic damage goes away. His skin reforms and it regains its normal texture, but the mark of Strahd von Zarovich remains on his face.
Question, how many hit points will that restore?
Let's find out.
Actually, now that you think about it, you actually all feel fine. You don't feel hurt at all. None of you. It's almost like you got a lot of rest.
16.
It's the magic of Piddlewick.
Would it be a long
It feels like it was a long rest. Yes.
Excellent.
Question, do I also feel... essentially, do I feel like I could cast all of my spells that
You
I've
all
not?
feel rejuvenated, yes.
Uriah notices her looking at the mark and says, "Yes, it's good to have a reminder. I think I acted rashly. I would not change what I did, but I certainly would have altered my tactics."
You are so very brave. And I will never forgive him for what he's done to you.
And Brother Uriah, this close, you can't help but notice those 2 puncture wounds on her neck.
Oh, are you all right? He drank from you. If I recall the legends, he must do it thrice and then you are his.
I feel all right. But I don't know.
We are both marked, it seems.
Yes.
So, if you wish us to go with this fellow, that you may have answers, even from the lips of the devil himself, then yes, I will go with you.
All right.
Rahadin looks at your neck and just nods. He's blessed you once, yes. Only 2 more times. And it will be complete. You will be restored. All will be as it should be. Yes, yes.
And Uriah looks over to him, and his manner subtly alters.
How many times have you danced this particular dance, Rahadin?
Lord Aslan Rex. As Chamberlain, I must greet all visitors, I suppose.
Visitors? Did I not make my home in these very walls for decades? You were always so very helpful. But I suppose that is a good quality in a servant.
I am happy to pledge my life to Strad von Zarovich in the realization of his vision for Barovia and all the lands further hence. He is missing but one thing. And when his one true love is restored, he will then restore order everywhere, perhaps even in Darkon.
Yes, this time surely will be different. Back to you, Uriah.
I do wish you would stop doing that.
Boy,
Lord
The throw,
tension
though.
was huge with that.
Lord Azalin, you are aware of something that I am going to send.
On our usual channel?
Right here in this one, actually. Apologies there, everyone. Important insight to what Lord Azalin Rex does and does not know. Rahadin is still looking at Uriah, and he says, the Lich King has fingers everywhere, and yet, if he is cavorting in this somewhat humble and, dare I say, frail shell, he must have fallen far indeed.
Watch your tone.
I wish to say for the record that no one has their fingers in me.
I suppose
can't
that's
say
only
the same for your
Piddlewick.
friends.
Yes, exactly.
We can fix that if you like.
No,
sir.
no, I thank you. Thank you. Let us.
How about a nice back rub?
That's actually nice. That's little hands. There.
Hey now.
That was an interesting
Right.
choice of phrase, Brother Uriah.
Sorry?
That was an interesting choice of phrase.
Oh, yes. Yes. Right. This is sort of like the taint thing, isn't it?
Yes, it's not.
A lot like that, yeah.
A little bit. A little bit.
I've led a sheltered life. Let's be on our way.
And Nahara just looks down and she's like, too low, Piddlewick. When-
Nothing is too low for Piddlewick.
That didn't
Been
surprise
on
me at
all
all.
my marketing brochures and scrolls.
Rahadin looks at all of you for a moment and still doesn't sheath the sword, but it's just sort of out at his side. And he turns and just motions down one of the hallways and says, after you.
Nahara, if you could ask about Valentine, why is she not with us?
I am sure we will have a chance to ask questions, but yes.
I've got a question right now.
Yes.
I've been told by your lord that my brother may be here. Do you know of an Armand?
I'm aware of all the guests in Castle Ravenloft. I know no such person. And if he bears a resemblance to you, I don't think I would be able to overlook him.
Huh. Can Desmond like roll for perception to see if he's lying at all?
Mm-hmm. Insight is what that would be.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Strahd did tell you he was here. Voronika told you he was here too. This guy
11.
doesn't seem like he's lying. He's fairly blank-faced, but
Cool.
Quick out of character. What kind of elf is he?
he is a dusk elf. Very, very rare, Finn.
Okay.
He is pale, but not fully as gray as a Shadar Kai is. You've all seen Shadar Kai. You met Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. Both of them were almost ashen gray. He looks almost more like a wood elf that just hasn't had any sun in a really long time. Somewhat befitting Barovia.
All right. Trying to see if I was trying to figure out if he was also a drow.
He is not. If anything, he is a cousin of the drow, but I mean, and to a certain extent, all elves are cousins of the drow, I suppose. Yeah. But do you all, as he motions for you to walk ahead, do you go?
Yes, will Piddlewick be joining us?
Must he?
I would love to. Thanks for inviting me.
I have my eye trained on Rahadin and a hand on my kukri.
He looks down at it and he just looks up at you again and he says, "After such a pleasant exchange, it would be a shame were you to join the chorus."
Is that close enough for Desmond to hear it?
Yeah. He doesn't try and hide it at all. Yeah.
How dare you?
Are we not guests?
Your decorum exceeds your rugged countenance. Apologies.
Huh.
And he twirls the scimitar and puts it back in the sheath.
Thank you.
And at that, Fen puts hers back as well. She had not put her sword away.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of punched Desmond. I'm like, I don't need defending.
I didn't say you needed defending. I just figured we don't want to fight on the way to see the dude who brought us into this weird castle.
He started it. I'm continuing what he started.
Oh, I'm just cool with all of it. Just, we can do that with swords away.
She's getting defensive, but she knows it comes from a good place. It's just like, well, she's so deeply insulted that this guy got the best of her.
As you all walk, again, this like muted sense of antique luxury fills this whole place. Again, some time ago, possibly centuries ago, Castle Ravenloft was probably spectacular. But now it is just worn and gray. It very much has the feeling of what was probably always a wartime palace. It was probably only ever so luxurious, but the trappings and finery and tapestries and whatnot still were top of the line at one point. Eventually, you all come to an intersection, and as you turn, Nahara, you see it. You see the window. You see the waterfall. That's it. That's the place. This was where he chased you. This is where you ran. This is where you did the unthinkable.
I kind of break away for a moment towards it. I can't help it. I have to see.
As you walk over towards it, this place that you have seen 100 times, 1,000 times. It plays on repeat every night when you're not sleeping. The act of just walking through this hallway is almost like reality is moving in slow motion.
And with that sentiment, I'll run my hands against the stone outlining of this window and look over the edge.
When you look over the edge, Nahara, give me a wisdom save.
19 plus stuff, 24.
You have to jump, Nahara. You have to.
No. Is this... Am I dreaming? And I look back to see if my friends, and especially if Uriah are watching.
When you look back, Uriah is standing directly beside you. But he has that look on his face. And as he turns, you see someone else behind his eyes. Are you all right? It must be very upsetting, no?
I've lived this moment every night. Now that I'm here, I don't know if I'm still dreaming.
Dreams sometimes show us what we have forgotten, what we cannot allow ourselves to remember.
I want to jump.
Do you? And what were you fleeing so long ago?
I keep seeing myself falling from this very spot, escaping, because I could never be with him.
And yet, there was no escape. There was no release. He bound you to a cycle, bound you to a wheel which turns forever.
If I jump, I'm just going to be back in this spot eventually. How do I stop it?
You have strength to turn from this.
Help me.
The strength to face him, and I shall. I am your patron. Your strength flows from me.
Help me. Help me down. I don't know. I feel like I'm frozen in this spot.
Take my hand. Take his hand.
And for a moment, he sees Uriah behind his eyes again.
Uriah, help me. And Nahara reaches out for his hand.
Any strength that I have to give is yours. Always. He does love you, Nahara.
I love him.
Good.
The door at the other end, Nahara and Uriah have gone over here to the window at the far end of another hallway that Finn and Tatiana and Desmond can see. A door opens up in sweeping darkness, comes rolling out of it. Nahara, you know he's coming.
Nahara will dry her eyes and stand tall and grasp the symbol of Ravenkind that's in her hand. And with her other hand, she takes Uriah's, and it gives her strength. And she remembers who she is. At least what she remembers of who she is. And her strength, and she walks forward.
Nahara, the symbol of Ravenkind begins to feel warm in your hand. And without your conscious choice, the sunlight from it starts to spill out. And all of you see this. The sunlight starts to glow more and more in the hallway. And Rahadin looks at you with the light coming out and looks back in the direction of the door and says, "My lord, wait, no," and pulls his sword out.
Oh, and she quickly tries to put it in a pocket or something where it won't show.
Can't. It continues outwards, the sunlight pushing everything back, like the lights of Castle Ravenloft itself are beginning to fight back against this. And as this blinding light sweeps out over all of you, you find yourselves outside. There's a courtyard that seems familiar somehow, but it's quiet. There's a city. It's Phalkovnia. You see the small houses, the meager shops, the thatched roofs, the high, thick walls constantly being beset by undead. But it is absolutely deserted. And the five of you stand here, and somehow Piddlewick is still clinging to Brother Uriah's back.
Oh,
I have a series of tunnels.
Yes, of course. How fortunate that Piddlewick is still with us.
Piddlewick is everywhere.
Yes.
Where are the people?
Does this mean you're out? Out of the castle?
We
For
do
good
appear
now?
to be in Phalkovnia, of all places.
You're no longer trapped, Piddlewick.
Piddlewick has never been this far before. Or has he?
We don't know.
Neither do I, really.
Oh,
Just saying. I don't think I have.
Yes, well, join the club.
well, Piddlewick,
So
we
I
should
have
tell
been
you.
What's it called?
Well, it's more of a
It's
society.
called the I don't remember what my previous lives were.
Well, one, you flew. But you didn't have wings then.
I know.
You could probably survive to fly this time.
Piddlewick, to catch you up, this place that we are in, we have been here before. We in fact found Nahara's body here. There were lots of zombies last time, though, and now there's nothing.
Were there zombie bears?
Well, some hard. I can't remember now.
No, that I
quite
had
possible.
been here.
Huh. Interesting.
Desmond and Finn, give me survival checks.
Nineteen.
What, sorry?
19.
Okay.
14.
Desmond, there's people around. You smell them. But you don't see anything. You don't hear anything. Last time, I mean, Phalkovnia was, well, the gates were manned. There were burning braziers everywhere. There were guards on every wall. I mean, all of the people were ready to defend their homes against the on-rushing zombie hordes at any time. None of that now. Absolute silence.
I don't know if you guys can sense it, but I don't know if it's smell or what, but there's people here. We just can't see them. And that concerns me.
Nahara takes out her crystal orb, which should allow her to see within a certain radius what it's about.
You all hear hundreds, possibly thousands of voices, all speak at once. They don't yell, all at the exact same time. You left us.
Me?
You.
Why should I have stayed?
You should come back. You should come see what you did.
Oh, right.
Again, for the rest of you, thousands of people are all just talking at the exact same time. You don't see any of them. There's buildings. They might be in the buildings, but it's like they all talk in unison.
Oh, God, the plant.
Make it stop.
Can Nepenthe do anything about this?
As far as you know, you're not in Barovia anymore, but you don't see an enemy as such. You just hear.
I meant more the hearing the voices. Can Nepenthe do anything about that?
It's not in your head. I mean, they're just the whole city. There's a city's worth of people, and they all talk at the same time. Mm-hmm.
Well, dagnabbit.
Well,
and then the party doesn't know. Like in the players know, but the characters don't know.
I don't. Did Nahara ever even confide in Uriah? I don't think she did. Yeah, I don't think she did. Although it is in Phalkovnia that you encountered the body taker plant. That's something you all know. Yeah.
So we might be running into a little bit of trouble.
yes.
Sorry, what?
Don't you see that the plant must have somehow ultimately prevailed? It's taken everyone.
The plant? But we killed it. And Desmond salted it.
Desmond, give me a wisdom save, please.
Well,
15.
Desmond, you feel just a wrenching, agonizing pain in your stomach and an intense desire to bring Nahara to the cathedral.
Desmond, you what?
My stomach hurts.
What's
And
wrong?
I don't know. I feel like I should be taking Nahara to the cathedral, and I don't like it.
what?
Let's listen to his stomachache and take her there.
I'm not sure, but do you recall, Desmond? It was shortly after we'd all met. When we were fighting the plant, you ingested a fair bit of it, as I recall.
I changed and I bit pieces off it, but I do remember salting and setting blaze to the remains of that. Why does my stomach hurt now?
The cathedral, though. We were safe in the cathedral.
Yeah, maybe it'll make your stomach ache go away if we go to the cathedral.
But remember what we found at the cathedral.
He's in pain. Whatever we can do.
Here, I'll try.
We found my corpse in the cathedral.
Yes, we laid it to rest. We laid it to rest.
Exactly. It shouldn't be. We should be fine. Maybe it's an instinct for safety.
Yes.
When she says that, do any of us have a chance to roll for insight to see?
I'll leave it up to you. If you have any reason to disbelieve her, I'll leave it up to you.
Oh, I do not even attempt to roll for insight. Yes, that must be it.
Yeah.
That must be. While we're doing this, I try casting Lesser Restoration on Desmond to see if that alleviates his symptoms.
Desmond, the impulse becomes slightly fainter, but the pain does not dissipate.
Helped a little bit, but it's still there.
Well, we were safe at the cathedral last time. We seem to be surrounded on all sides, by the sounds of things, the entire population of this city. Should we press on?
I don't think we have too much of a choice. I feel like, my stomach is killing me right now.
I'm sorry. I don't know what else to try.
Perhaps he needs his glands expressed. He is lichen.
You sound like cats.
There's a lichen. Dogs need that. That's a wolf thing.
How do you know that?
Desmond? I'm sorry to get personal.
The depth of Piddlewick's weird knowledge is vast.
Apparently.
I see the logic here.
Count von Zarovich keeps a number of lycanthropes around. Piddlewick has seen things. Those little hands we
I'm
talked
not
about.
really knowing this group.
Have you?
I thought it was
Try
only
to
very
express his
small
glands.
inbred lycanthropes that need their glands expressed.
Have you helped in that, Piddlewick?
Well, I mean, haven't we all
No.
expressed the
No.
glands of our lycanthrope friends?
No.
Haven't we? Well then, I guess Piddlewick is the best friend in this group, then, isn't he?
Okay, Fen pulls her sword back out.
All right, let's just go.
Look at the cathedral before you pull out any weapons, please and thank you.
Yeah, no more talking about plans or yes.
I'm just saying, It might work. We don't know it won't work.
Piddlewick, please, can I breathe? I don't want to laugh while my stomach hurts this much. Please and thank you.
This is most strange. Even if you did eat the plant, why would you still feel... I mean, you would...
Yeah.
As Piddlewick, I'm fear, might point out, you would have excavated such...
But it is a magical plant. So who can say?
I might stop
Exactly.
It might still be lingering.
When's the last
All this time?
It's a long time.
Probably a lot of it lingering.
Might be some stress related.
Not stress.
I
This
am
place.
stressed.
You know, once I pulled out a man's internals, and there was a long tube that just kept coming.
That is the
Those entrails.
That was his, yeah.
So maybe it does take a long time. I don't know.
Let's pull Desmond's entrails out and see if that's okay.
No, we will not be pulling that. Remember the ground rules. That's
Possibly we walk and talk. We walk and talk this.
I've got tiny hands.
So ground rules.
As you all are walking,
Get real up there.
Do you want to keep your hands?
Oh, God.
You know, they are getting a little rusty, so if there are some upgrades out there, I would gladly take them.
No, just a removal.
Oh, you're too kind, but thank you, no. I'm a bit attached to these. Ha! Piddlewick!
Can I just cut Piddlewick in half?
You just yell your name.
Catchphrase.
Hey, it's always a good time for a joke. There's never a bad time for humor.
You're not.
If I attack Piddlewick, would I hurt Brother Uriah?
He's on me, yes.
I mean, he's on him, so it's, yeah.
Let's just go to the clean.
We're going to move into your hat.
Again, remember, he's roughly the size of a child. He's about 4 feet tall, but he is like up on Uriah's back, though. Yes.
We could tag team so I could pull Piddlewick off.
Let's go. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Desmond, the pain gets worse.
Desmond.
Nora, can we start heading toward the cathedral? Because I would love to not take you, and because I hate this.
I'm sorry.
So much.
I do. Yes, perhaps that's will help you feel better. Can we? I feel this. We should move fast.
Brother Uriah, you sense 0 undeath. Before, it just was everywhere, even though, recall, the actual onslaught of the undead only came on the night of the new moon. But just the ambient presence of it was almost overwhelming last time you were here. It's like the place felt undead. This time you detect none.
This wouldn't normally be cause for concern, but I'm not detecting any undead presence whatsoever, aside from Nahara, of course, but this place was crawling with the dead last time we were here.
Is that right? That's
Yes.
Perhaps.
But you'll recall the first town we stopped in, the undead presence had been staved off by a horticultural agent. The plant.
About that.
Yes.
Could we get to the cathedral and then I'm sure we could have a lot.
We were safe there last time. Yes.
And once we're there, I will explain.
You all did not spend a lot of time in Phalkovnia, but in your training of the defense of the city, you became very familiar with it very quickly because you had to know where everything was. So it actually comes to you pretty easily to make your way over to the appropriate ward to find the cathedral. And when you do, you all see a shocking sight. The cathedral was a tall, white stone building. It was not particularly ostentatious, but in the midst of all of the chaos of Phalkovnia, it had always been untouched in the fighting. you all had laid Nahara's body to rest next to it. This time, there is a gargantuan plant growing next to the cathedral. Its tentacles and vines have wrapped all up around it, like the building itself is part of the mass of the plant. And while you can see that central eye in the middle of the body taker plant, this one is easily 5 times bigger than the last one you saw. It splits open, and inside of it, you see Nahara. But it's not her. Her skin has a green pallor, and she is wrapped in vines all over her, and the white gown that she was buried in is torn and ripped, where you can see the vines at first you think are going into her flesh, but it quickly becomes apparent the vines are coming out of her flesh.
It worked.
Now,
What?
Does this have something to do with the explanation you were going to give us?
Well, I was going to leave it a surprise, but now you can see for yourselves. In my blind rage from seeing my former self murdered and lain in the temple.
Yes.
Because of the war in Phalkovnia, I might have done something.
This other Nahara motions her hand, and you see the door of the vines push open the door of the cathedral, and you can see, wrapped in a cocoon and hanging upside down, Vladeska Drakov.
Oh, yes. You.
Oh. Well, it seems that the unbeatable warrior has met her match.
Hold on, you're saying you took your clone or whatever and turned her to a plant monster that killed and ate everyone and everything?
How? How did you do it?
Well, the last plant monster that we defeated, I had taken a gem that I had found inside. And when we had buried my body, I went back alone. And I planted the gem over my body's heart to take revenge on Vladeska Dragov.
But what of her people? All of them.
We're all one now, and you hear all of that all over the city. You left me. Desmond, you reach out your hand and you put it on Nahara's shoulder.
Mean to do that, Nahara? I would like to move my hand. Can Desmond move his hand?
Nope.
Oh, no.
It's on my shoulder and not the other Nahara's shoulder?
Yes, yours.
I just take my hand and gently put it over his.
I can't move my hand.
How very
And I didn't put it
strange.
there.
The other Nahara moves like she's going to step out of the plant, but you see it just moves and its vines just kind of continue laying out in front of her, and she more like glides down to the ground. She looks at you, Desmond, and says, "You belong here with us." And you hear it all. She looks at you, but like her mouth doesn't move, but you hear it from everywhere.
And only I can hear it, or does everybody talk?
This same, thousands of voices all speaking at once.
Nope. Pretty sure I don't.
Piddlewick.
Yeah.
You know that face, despite everything that has changed, despite the fact that she clearly has become something else.
Right?
That's Tatiana. That's
Right?
the Tatiana you know. You knew her for years. That's her.
There she is. She's the last one who couldn't fly. Before the wings happened for real.
Uriah is going to step forward and try something he's never done before. He's going to try to sort of worm his way between Desmond and Nahara and cast Anti-Life Shell. So this will essentially, around him and Nahara, hedge out anything that is not undead.
What?
Or a construct.
I have never heard of this spell before.
I like where this is headed. Hold on, let me check something here because this is relevant for a lot of reasons.
What are we doing?
Cast a spell.
There's a lot of words.
So yeah, Piddlewick, I think as a construct is not affected by it.
Or is he?
Yeah. Well, you'll be able to. It's good. No, it's a good thing.
Oh.
You all see what does Brother Uriah's anti-life shell look like when it comes up?
It is a spell from Ezra. It basically, the mists sort of trace a line in a circle around them, and the mists sort of rise up in this 10-foot radius barrier that moves with Uriah. It moves with him, and it hedges out any creatures other than undead or constructs. And
Desmond, you do feel yourself pushed away. Nahara technically is undead, so she stands there next to you. You see even around him, the grass around the cathedral begins to die, and the vines pull back from him. And everyone in all of the city all scream in unison. How dare you?
You will not have her. This was a spell that sprung unbidden to my mind. I never asked for it, but I know how to do it. The living cannot pass.
Uriah, what have you done?
I won't let them take you.
Why did you leave me?
You've always been here.
Again, she doesn't talk. You never see her mouth move. She's just looking at you, and everyone else talks.
We are everywhere.
No, we are everywhere. And doors start opening on all of the buildings, and people start coming out, many of whom still have faces that you all remember, come walking out. Many of them are naked, but not all of them, and just start lining the streets all around you.
Right. I remember. Oh, That's what this was like. I was hoping we wouldn't be here again.
Yes, it's different this time, though. They're not undead. They are, in fact, living, which is why I'm able to keep them away. What do you want with our friend?
She moves forward again. It's like her legs don't move. The vines just sort of carry her further forward towards Tatiana and Finn, and now towards Desmond. Desmond, you feel powerfully compelled, not just to protect her, but to obey her.
Is that a thing I can fight?
Well, then kind of already didn't find it.
Say what?
You kind of already didn't fight it. No.
Like, I still can't fight the surge.
Your mind is still your own.
Okay.
You're not speaking in unison with everyone, but you very
Uriah,
much feel like, okay. Mm-hmm.
Uriah shoots a quick glance over to Finn and is just like, Finn, come here quickly. And then looks over to Tatiana and goes, turn into something that can fly.
Oh, shoot. I can't think of any animals that fly right now. This is a bad time to not think of.
bird!
I turn into a bluebird.
A bat!
Finn, do you go towards him in the anti-life shell?
Can I?
You can.
All right, I go over.
Mm-hmm. You pass through it seamlessly. Tatiana, when you change, do you fly away?
I'm going to hover as high as I can and watch the scene.
She looks right up at you, flying. In Desmond, she just holds her hand out to you. You really want to take it.
I just scream out, do not want to take this hand, but please help me to not.
I'm like a bird. I want to fly away. I can't. I start like swooping, and as I swoop past, peck at the plant that is pulling in Desmond, and it's fly back up.
You see, she turns and looks at you, and all around you, you see a few dozen of these people pick up bows and arrows. And she says, they all say, don't make me destroy you.
I can't speak human words right now, but if I could, I'd think I'm very small. They're gonna have to be a really good shot, and I keep doing it. As soon as I see bows knocked or the first one fly, then I'll back off.
Okay. They very much like, and you realize the arrows are coming towards all your friends too. If they shoot, they're shooting at everybody.
Crap.
The second Desmond sees those arrows knock,
Mm-hmm.
he changes.
When you change, give me another wisdom save, Desmond.
12.
You turn into a lycanthrope, and she motions downward, and you bow down next to her.
I hate this place.
He just looks at her with rage.
She gets down right in your face, which is a very alien feeling because she's Nahara, but she's not. And you do hear her human voice say, I'm a part of you too.
How?
And the people all say again, how? That's a very good question. And she points at you, Nahara. How? We remember you. How? You are muted, ma'am.
Not muted.
Oh, you are now. I mean, you're good now.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know what this would do. I didn't know the extent. I'm sorry, Desmond.
I don't want to hear apologies. I need her to release me.
She motions her hand, and the vines that are holding Vladeska Drakov basically throw her out, like, and she lands on the ground outside the anti-life shell. And she hits the ground, and it's can't tell if she's dead or unconscious.
Let him go.
We got revenge.
Okay, I'm gonna try something.
Oh.
So
Oh no.
this second, so the anti-life spell is a concentration spell.
Mm-hmm.
This other spell I'm about to cast can be a concentration spell, but I want to cast the instantaneous version of it.
Okay.
I want to cast Dispel Evil and Good on Desmond, which has, if you use it as the instantaneous, I can break an enchantment, a creature that is charmed, frightened, or possessed.
Is there a save or it just happens?
It just happens. It's like 5th level spell.
The body taker plant is evil, so I will say that Desmond. As Brother Uriah casts this spell on you, you become aware of the fact that there are vines running through you that have spread across your midsection as this thing has been quietly growing this entire time. Your will is at least temporarily your own, but it doesn't actually solve your problem.
It's gonna be fun to take out.
She looks down at you, aware of the fact that you've lost the connection. And she looks back at Nahara, and all the people speak again. Why should I let you live?
I've let you live.
This isn't living. I suppose it is after a fashion. Again, this is all the people. Her mouth's not moving. She walks right up to the very edge of the anti-life shell. And she reaches out and touches it. And you see it sizzles and burns against her fingers. And she turns and looks down at it again. And she says, I just wanted to be free from him. Now I'm just another kind of prisoner.
So am I.
How are you here and I am here?
That's what I've been trying to find out this whole time. I am not your enemy. My friends are not your enemy. Strahd is your enemy.
Prove it. And she puts her hand through the anti-life shell, and you see it begin to burn and sizzle and but she stands there, straight-faced, holding her hand out to you.
I am not your enemy. As she takes her hand.
When you take her hand, Nahara, give me a wisdom save.
Do. 16. Sorry,
All
17.
of you, when Nahara touches her hand, there is a flash of light. And you all appear in a clearing. In Nahara, you're holding a cat. The cat that you saw before. And this other you and Piddlewick are both still there. You see, she very much looks around, confused.
Is this Seja? Is it you?
What does Seja look like?
She's a very small, very fluffy kitty with eyes the same color as mine, a very light minty green, and she's got a white belly and white furry cheeks, but she's gray all over her back and tail.
Tatiana.
Yeah.
the other Nahara or other Tatiana, pending how you want to say, faster than almost you can comprehend with a natural 20, grabs you out of the air. And just looks at you. Does Nahara say anything when she does this?
Oh, do I see this?
Oh,
I see her
yes. Like, you all are standing here. You're holding this cat. There's just kind of a moment. She...
Let her go. I said we are not your enemy.
Desmond turns back into human form.
Desmond, are you yourself?
For now, yes.
The
Well,
pain
thank you for
hasn't
that.
stopped, but your will is your own.
But,
Madam, I would ask you to release both of my friends, Tatiana and Desmond. Nahara spoke true. We're not your enemies. And we seek to stop the one that you sought to flee.
She looks at you for a second and she says, Azalin. Piddlewick. Piddlewick.
Ah, it's me, Piddlewick.
And she actually hits her knees in front of you and reaches out and touches the side of your face and says, I hated you.
I know. Ah.
Do I understand correctly that your name is Tatiana?
Yes. It was. I don't know what I am now. And she looks down at the bird in her hand and says, what is her name?
Her name, oddly enough, is also Tatiana.
Also Tatiana.
Crazy,
Jest.
right?
And she just
Donna.
looks up and you see her brow furrows and she says, then I think Tatiana will be my guarantee that no trickery will transpire here. And Tatiana, you do feel her begin to squeeze. She doesn't hurt you, but you realize she could if she wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Please
What-
let her go. She has done nothing to you. You are here because of Strahd.
You all hear a voice. Nahara! Nahara! Don't get lost in the woods chasing that cat, child!
What? Where is that coming from? Do you hear that?
You all hear it.
Hello?
Hello? And you all see a very warm and grandmotherly looking woman kind of comes over the hill. She's wearing very clearly homemade garments, rough spun, but dyed a nice forest green. Her hair is tied up in a scarf. And she comes over the hill and she says, oh, have you seen my granddaughter? That Seja. That's odd. Seja doesn't let anybody pet her.
You're looking for your granddaughter?
Yes.
What?
You, we don't want any trouble. We're simple forest folk.
Could you tell me about her? Perhaps I've seen her.
Honestly, she looks not so dissimilar to you and her. And you see the other you just kind of like tilts her head a little bit with completely alien look in her eyes. She, black hair, eyes, the same color as Sedge's, the same colors as yours. No. And she very much comes rushing over to you, and she's like, did you fall asleep in a fairy circle, child? Wait, is this you? And you feel a very familiar warmth and love in her hands as she puts her hands on the side of your face, Nahara.
It is me. A version of me.
Nahara, as you look in her eyes and you see all the warmth and love, you have a split second image of her laying dead in the house on fire. What is it, child? What troubles you so?
No, please, no. Not you. Please.
I don't understand any of this. I don't know who you strangers are, but I know my granddaughter. This, you know, and she just hugs you, Nahara. There, child. There.
Is it really you?
Is it really you? You feel so heavy, child. Why?
I've waited a very long time to see your face.
She sort of lets go of the hug for a moment and turns and looks at the other one. And you see they just stare at each other for a moment. And she very slowly approaches her like she's going to hug her too. And you see she looks down at her like she's completely alien. But just kind of like freezes there for a second while the old woman wraps her arms around her too. In Tatiana, you can see from where she's got you in her hand that from behind her, like vines come up, like they're coming towards the old woman.
I want to drop my wild shape.
Mm-hmm.
And yell, "Watch out."
When you say that, she turns and looks at you, and all of you see this coming up behind you. Brother Uriah, I ask you a question here, sorry. And yes.
May I do something else?
What would you like to do?
Cast infestation.
On the other Nahara?
On the plant mites, on all of the vines closest surrounding her.
You see the bugs start sweeping over her, and she stops, and like the old woman lets go of her for a second too, kind of like knocking bugs off of herself. And she sees as they're crawling all over, she looks right at you, Tatiana, and she just says, I understand why you aren't the Tatiana he wants. And she holds her hand towards you. And Uriah, were you about to say something?
Nahara feels a hand on her shoulder. And if she looks back, she sees Uriah with that same look in his eyes.
Enough of this, I think. You have dwelt too long in memory.
What?
Away with it.
And waves his hand.
No.
When Azalin does this, you see the other one stops and looks at you, Nahara, and looks you right in the eye and says to you, I will find you. And the mists sweep up and wash over all of you. and you find yourself standing back in front of that church with Nahara on the ground, Brother Uriah's face burned and ruined, but sitting over you, Nahara. The rest of you have no recollection of any of this. You just saw Nahara hit the ground and ran to your friend.
That Strahdi's not so bad, if you ask me.
Uriah, are you all right?
Does Uriah recall the events that have just happened?
Nothing.
You're all right.
Injured and Strahd just left and bit her, and she is in your arms.
Are you all right?
And Nahara just reaches out and touches that hand mark on his face and reaches over on her neck.
There's 2 bite marks.
I don't know.
Here. Let me help. We'll cast Cure Wounds on her wounds. I know that won't necessarily undo anything else, but...
The holes do close up when you do it, though. And here, on the steps of the church, with more questions than answers, as Irina runs out of the doorway and throws her arms around your neck crying, Nahara, seems like a good place for us to stop. But before we go, I have to say one last thank you to Lucky Yates and Piddlewick.
More Piddlewick!
Thank you.
He's still somewhere in a closet in Castle Ravenloft. Just don't fall asleep in the room he's in.
Waiting.
Thank you all. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.